to the main event.
Welcome to the main event.
This podcast is brought to you and sponsored by partnered with W Energy. Now, W Energy is an all-natural energy supplement, right? I'm talking no calories, no additives, none of that. The only star of W Energy is the coffee fruit extract. Now, y'all know me, right? I'm going to keep it real with y'all. I'm not going to preach anything that I wouldn't use myself. I got an order of W on the way right now. I finished off their peach mango flavor and their strawberry banana flavor. Right now, the peach mango, the beach and peach is my favorite because it kind of tastes like a non-alcoholic daiquiri, right? And it gives me long-lasting energy, no crash at the end. It's all natural. Get you some W Energy. If you go on w.gg, type in code MEP, you can get 10% off your entire order. They got it all, y'all. Plus, W is unveiling their new hydration packs. In my order, I actually got some of the hydration packs. So once they get here, I will do an on-camera taste test for y'all so that you can see what it's like. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, TJ, I'm used to seeing you. I'm used to seeing Zay, but who is that handsome devil beneath y'all? Well, that is our special guest for today. Ladies and gentlemen, please give it up for the one, the only MuscleManMalcolm.
Yes, sir. How's it going, guys? I love the little intro. That was great. W Energy goes crazy. How are you guys doing?
I'm doing good.
Doing great, man. How about you?
I'm chilling. Life is good. Making money, doing what I need to do, getting strong, getting clout. You know, it be what it be. But I'm chilling. Life's good.
Yes, sir. And speaking of doing great, real quick, we wanna shout out something big that just happened to you, right? Like 30 minutes before we even got ready for this, I saw you post it.
Yeah.
Explain to the people what's going on, Malcolm, because that's your name listed on the Swerve City podcast, man.
Yeah, that's me. Yeah, so I'm basically just like a clip maker. So you see clips on their Instagram and social media. That's from me, powered by this laptop that I'm currently on. I've been in talks with Montezi, who's one half of the podcast for a while now. Great guy. I've known him for a few years. So when the opportunity came up, I was like, sure, I'll definitely gladly help out with what I can. I've been making a lot of clips recently, and I'm excited to join the squad and swerve when we drive and all that kind of stuff.
Yes, sir. We swerve when we drive, yeah. But you and I were talking about a little bit before this, about going back to school and everything, and how you're in grad school.
Yep.
Has content creation always been like a driving factor in your life, or when did you get into content creation?
Yeah, so I started my YouTube channel when I was 12 years old. I had just moved to DC. Needed something to do. Figured that would be the thing. And ever since I was 12 years old, just been making content. The last couple of years is when I started taking it seriously, and that's when it started to start working out for me. During the pandemic, when I started doing interviews on my YouTube channel, MuscleManMalcolm, I was lucky enough that I had some cool relationships going with some wrestlers already. That I was able to bring on Roxanne Perez a few months before she got signed, or maybe almost a year before she got signed. Chris Bay, Leo Rush, Lance on Hawaii. So luckily, I had some built-in relationships already that when I started doing these interviews, I luckily had a little advantage, and now I'm just slowly trying to keep that train and momentum going up.
I like it.
I want to touch on what you said. You said you grew up in DC, right? You moved to DC, grew up there. Now I spent a great portion of my life living in Maryland, relatively the same area. So I understand how troublesome the area is and how tiring it can be to actually find your way out of there. So I want you to speak a little bit to like your journey making it from DC into where you are today.
Yeah, man. I mean, like DC can be pretty rough. It's more about like what you do in the city, who you hang out with, and yeah. I mean, like luckily I haven't been in too much trouble to say. I mean, I definitely had some situations where people try to take some stuff of mine, and that was definitely like a scary situation. But I really just mind my business, stand on business, do what I got to do, handle myself, do what I need to do. And I travel so much, like I'm gone every weekend pretty much. I go to grad school up near Philadelphia, so I really don't even live in DC that much anymore. I come down during breaks and whatnot, see family, but yeah, I'm barely in this area anymore. I travel a lot. I'm in grad school. Life is just I'm just living life. Wherever it's taking me, that's where I'm going. And I found myself very busy, pretty much every day during the week and weekends. So, I mean, I'm enjoying it. I love this city. The city will build you and break you, but it'll build you back up again. So I love the 202.
That's great to hear. Uh, Following up from that, right? You said you're in grad school. You mind me asking what your major is?
Yeah, so communication and media. So basically, what I'm already doing, I do a lot of stuff with other companies outside of just what I do on YouTube. I work with other wrestling brands. I've worked with like brands outside of just wrestling in general. I'm just looking to find my way in this whole field of media and whatnot. I've done some TV stuff. I've been on Fox 5 DC. Yeah, man, I'm just trying to just find my way in this media world and just create a name and a narrative that there's more people that like us that can make it in this wrestling space and actually do big things.
See, that's that I'm glad we got somebody like you out there too, who's doing those big things, because I'm pretty sure you've gotten it at some point from your family. I know Zay has, Loft has. When your family finds out you're doing content creation and stuff like this, the first thing they say is, why are you wasting your time with that? It's not going to go anywhere. It doesn't make any real money, because
Yeah.
they're not like us. They don't see what goes on behind the scenes, the long hours you put into editing, all the emails we got to send to try to lock down interviews and stuff like that, thinking up the ideas, editing, pasting them, like posting them everywhere, and then hoping the site you posted to doesn't try to take your video down for whatever reason. So what's the biggest struggle you faced in your content creation career?
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, I haven't had like any like family that have like been kind of against it. Everyone's been pretty supportive of it. I've had friends and whatnot that kind of question. You're like, oh, this is stupid. Wrestling's fake. Why are you talking about wrestling, etc. And those people they're not around anymore because I don't need them around.
Right.
Family wise, I mean, like I have like a grandmother and aunt that have been super supportive. When I was a lot younger, they would help take me to all these shows and whatnot. That's honestly why I have the following I have and the connections I built, is because I was able to go to these shows and have that access. So super blessed to have them in my life. But as far as just in general, just building this whole like brand I'm trying to build, it's just you gotta understand algorithms. You gotta know what hits, what doesn't work, what's the trend. I mean, you guys probably get it. I mean, we all do content and whatnot, so you just gotta understand what is the wave. You gotta ride it, and you gotta pray that you catch something.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man. Um, so this is a little niche one, but what what was that feeling that came over you when, because I feel like everyone has that little moment when one of their videos or projects goes viral. What was that first one that went viral for you, and what did that feel like?
Oh man, there's so many. Nah. Honestly, I mean, I feel like everything that does well, I have really high expectations for stuff I put out. So when stuff does well, I don't really like get extremely like happy or anything about it. It's like, yeah, it was supposed to do that. So
Hmm.
I kind of just feel I kind of feel pretty normal about it. That when stuff doesn't do well, I don't really feel sad about it. It's kind of like, all right, well, we'll get them next time, because like I believe what I put out and what I can put out will hit and will do well. So like if one fails or whatever, it's okay. That's life. But if one hits, I'm like, all right, that's expected. Time to go for the next one. Yeah, man. I mean, it's really just about knowing the audience and knowing what people like hearing, what they don't like hearing about, and just trying to make sure that I'm connecting with the people that follow me because they follow for a reason.
Not a kind of almost reword TJ's question. Is there any one video that you look back on and you're like, you almost view it as the start, as this is the moment?
Yeah. For me, I would just say like one of my first interviews. Because I did a lot of content before I did interviews, but I don't really. I just don't even really remember most of it at this point. For me, I interviewed Lance on Hawaii. I had to be about 15 or 16. It was right outside MCW out here in Maryland. He was just a great dude. I'm cool with a lot of those guys in that on Hawaii Fatu family, and I have nothing but great things to say about them, of course. Doing that interview, one, just gave me the confidence because he was so nice to me when I like just wasn't sure of myself and whatnot. Doing that interview gave me the confidence that I can go do other ones, and then I started to just find my way in the scene and just reaching out and just emailing, getting some rejections here and there, getting some hits here and there. Sometimes it doesn't work out, but you know it be what it be. Yeah, man. So I feel like maybe doing that first interview with Lance probably gave me that confidence to keep going and doing all the other ones I've done now.
Okay. Is there any interview where you look back on it and I don't want to say you didn't like how it went, but you look back on it and you're like, I would love to get a second chance at doing that one because there are some questions you probably didn't get to ask, or it's just someone who you're like, I really want to get to know them more.
Yeah. One that never got uploaded. It had nothing to do with me. I mean, maybe me. I could have asked better questions, but it had nothing to do with the guest. It was Queen Charmel. I went down to Reality of Wrestling, and she was great, super nice. But it was like the lighting or something was just so bad because like we had like this big light that was above us, and then they switched it off because it was like an hour before showtime, so they're like testing lights. So like a good portion of the interview just looked terrible. I was like, there's no point of using this. So I would like to definitely go back to Reality Wrestling and redo that interview with Charmel because she was lovely. Great thing to say about her. Yeah, that's probably the one that I can think of off the top of my head.
Now, I want to take it back to the origins of MuscleManMalcolm. Now, I'm sure you probably told this story to Nausea, but I want to give you the chance to allow yourself to tell the story of how you got the nickname MuscleManMalcolm.
Yeah, for sure. I was 14. I went to a Comic-Con up in Philadelphia. I was going to meet John Cena, first time ever. That was like my guy. That was my hero growing up when I was a kid. When I saw him, I gave him a workout glove because I'm big into working out. I'm a powerlifter. And yeah, I appreciate that. He took the glove and he's just like, "Oh, Malcolm, Muscle Man Malcolm." And then like he signs the glove and signs like this like 8x10 of him, The Rock, in Mania 29. I was like, I mean, that kind of works. I kind of like that name because my old YouTube name before that was 99 Awesome One, and it was the worst YouTube name ever. So I was like, yes, sir, please, I'll take that Muscle Man one. And yeah, it's been working ever since.
Man, I feel you on that terrible YouTube name. I remember my first one was Super Smart Boy 2011.
Dude, that's not terrible. That's not terrible.
I mean, it could be worse. My first like social media name was Emo Warrior 34.
See, that's a bad one. That was rough.
He said, I'm a warrior.
An emo warrior. That's the crazy part.
Hey, you know what? We all go through phases, and that's just one of them. That's okay.
You got that right, man.
Too bad the hair above the eye.
Word.
Speaking of John Cena, right?
Yeah.
How do I say this? First, where would you rank him in your top 5? Is he all-time favorite, or is it like?
Oh, he's number 1. Yeah, for sure.
Okay,
yeah, he's one. John Cena, he's that guy.
The GOAT.
Yeah, but the rest of the list is just Omos. So I mean, like it's just John Cena, then Omos.
I respect it. Homo sapiens rise.
We rise, brother. Yes, sir.
Hey, especially after getting rubs from all the other legends out there.
Yeah.
How can you deny Omos?
You can't. Point? I mean, he's so tall, Nigerian and tall. Like, what else do you need out of wrestling?
Exactly. I think that's the whole package right there. Vince loved it, obviously it's got to be right.
Exactly.
Obviously got to be right.
When has he ever wrong in wrestling and wrestling only? Never. Not once.
They need to send Omos to NXT because Shawn Michaels knows how to deal with the big African men.
Yeah, Shawn Michaels knows how to deal with African men, and I agree with you. Yes, I want to see them.
Omos and Obafemi?
Oh, bro, that would go crazy.
Hey, please, Shawn Michaels, if you watch this, all we ask is a ticket to a show. That's all we ask.
Just a ticket. That's all I need. I need to see it.
versus Omos for the Nick American title. That's all we ask.
Hey man, it be what it be.
Oh man. Speaking of big wrestlers who got that swag, who got that style. I think one of my favorite pairings recently that I didn't know I needed until I saw you and AJ Francis. Like, how did this come to be? Because I think all the IWC is like basically dubbing you as his brother, his future tag team partner now at this point. Yeah. So how did this come to be?
Yeah, I mean, me and Anthony Dollar, Big Dollar, that's my guy. So I've been cool with AJ for a little bit. When Hit Row had first came out on SmackDown, it's like a dark match. It was before they got drafted. I freaked out, screamed really loudly at a ridiculous level, tweeted that. Everyone from Hit Row saw it. They all loved it because it got a lot of views, which is the reason why AJ liked it. He's like, I liked it because it got a lot of views. So that was great. He followed me from there, talked back and forth. Once he got, like, I talked to him throughout his WWE run during that, especially that second run. We did a couple interviews. One after he first had gotten released from WWE before like a GCW event. And yeah, I mean, he was great people then. And unfortunately, when he got released again from WWE, I don't even know why they did that, honestly. I went down to his house in Orlando, hung out for a little bit, did the interview. And yeah, hopefully some more cool content coming soon.
That's insane to me. And
it is. If you will do a young man a favor, I made a joke and AJ Francis blocked me. So
oh my God.
I'm kidding.
What was that Top Rope related joke?
No, he said who better than Top Dollar, and I just tweeted anyone, and I was blocked 20 minutes later.
Yeah, honestly, I think that was just on you. That's on you guys.
Yeah, you asked for it.
I'm sorry. I'll take it.
I will say though, he's fully about all his business. So I mean, you can gladly say it to his face. I can't help you with what happens afterwards. He's a big dude in real life.
I didn't mean it ignorantly. I was just being a troll. I didn't think it was gonna get me blocked.
Hey, you saw what he did to Joe Hendry, right? Don't test that man.
Yeah.
Hey man, I dude is strong in real life. I tried messing around with him a little bit. And he joke slapped me. I was like, Jesus Christ, that hurt. Bro is strong. There's a reason why this man was in the NFL. So yeah, good luck.
Oh man, bro.
Yeah. He's a good dude though. Just don't troll him. You'll be good.
I feel it.
I learned my lesson the hard way. But to once again keep up with the lighthearted nature of this. So, right, I understand that you're a combat trained athlete.
Slowly. Yeah.
Right. I don't know if you be trolling about the wrestling training on Twitter, but I do recall you saying that you boxed when you were younger.
I did, yeah.
As someone who gets punched in the face daily, I'm gonna ask you about that, like athletic experiences outside of wrestling.
Yeah, I mean, so I wrestled in high school. That's kind of like a lot of my experience has to do with like wrestling related things. I wrestled in high school because I wanted to be a pro wrestler. I did powerlifting because I wanted to be a pro wrestler. I did boxing because I know pro wrestlers get in real fights. Everything I've ever done has been pro wrestling related. Boxing, I like it. I mean, I do it more for exercise at this point, but I love boxing. I'm a big boxing fan. Recently talked to like Jake Paul at one of his last fights, and that was like a crazy experience. But yeah, I mean, as far as everything I do, it's always been about pro wrestling. Yeah, man, I'm a mark, and I'm proud of it.
I can't blame you. As someone who gets punched in the face, I understand it.
I saw your record. I saw your record. You came in second twice.
Second twice. Yeah,
Hey man,
good.
No, you got silver. You got silver.
Yeah.
That's a great way to think about that.
That's how I see it. That's how I saw it personally.
Yeah. That makes me feel better. I've been called trash for like 2 weeks now.
No. I mean, like, if you think about it, there's a referee, so there's 3 people in there, so you came in second. So I see no issue. No issue.
That's true. That's true. Especially because you went the distance too. Most people went down in the first round.
Exactly. See?
That's exactly what I'm.
You
That's
and Francis
exactly what I'm gonna tell
McDonald can go for it.
Be like, look, man, you came in second. It's okay. You gave me a nice little ball.
Yeah, you can
Came
take
in
on
second.
Tyson Fury, bro. Like I can see it. You and Tyson, go for it.
You know, I'm telling you, bro. After I suplex you, we gonna get the round in.
After whoop
After I suplex you,
me
yes.
Are you?
down,
Why are you threatening our guests right now?
down.
What?
You're a small child. You don't want that.
I've been saying I was gonna suplex Malcolm for like a year now.
Oh my gosh.
I'm sorry. I've been doing so many more important things.
Ooh.
Forgot about that. No, I don't want to hurt you because like I don't want to go to jail for assaulting a minor. So I can't do that to you, buddy. Sorry.
That's fair. Speaking of important things, what is there any super secret things you got in the works that you shouldn't talk about but can talk about?
Yep, I got a lot of things that I'm not going to tell you about. Yep, that's all. Yep, sure do.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, you feel me? Malcolm is now number 14 in the Royal Rumble.
Hey man, I'm not saying that's impossible. I'm just saying like I'll be in Tampa. I'm just saying
Hey, Triple H.
Hey,
There
I've
you go.
been wrestling training, so I mean like I could be. You never know. Could be. Who knows?
Speaking of matches, we're all wrestling fans here, obviously. What are your top 5 favorite matches of all time?
For sure. So no one ever agrees with me on this, but my favorite match of all time is from All In 2018. It was Cody Rhodes and Nick Aldis for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship. Storytelling was immaculate. The wrestling told the story of what they were trying to tell, and it was the right winner at the end of it. Cody Rhodes getting that NWA title. I'm a big NWA fan. I know the current product. Not everyone rocks with heavy, and I understand why. There's different strokes for different folks. But that match for me is definitely number one. Besides that, everything else is just an Omos match. So Omos Rollins, Omos Lesnar, I'm assuming he faced Elias at some point. So Omos Elias. And Omos and AJ versus RK Bro SummerSlam. Raw Tag Team titles.
That was actually a really good match.
I
know a lot of people probably thought it was going to be a bad match, but that was a really, really good match.
Who thought it was going to be a bad match?
Haters.
People
who are blind to the greatness that is Omos. That's
I mean, like, I don't know how they're blind to it. I mean, I guess because he blocks his son because he's so tall. But
that makes sense.
I mean, Omos is great.
Okay.
Now, we want to bring up a relationship that you have with a fellow MEP member of ours. A very questionable relationship, to say the very least.
I think it's very healthy and normal. I don't think anything about it is questionable. But hey, that's just me.
I don't know. All I know is one of them paints their nails, the other one's, a little exorbitant. But we want to talk Johnny Bebop.
Oh, I was like, I don't know where we're going with this, but yeah, no, I love Johnny.
Basically, just how did that friendship form, and overall, just how you feeling about that?
Yeah. I mean, like, we're lovers. That's my answer. That's the end of my answer. Yeah, that's all you need to know.
Solid.
Yep, I'm sending this to him later.
Also, tell him stop hating Edge. Tell him
no, he's allowed to hate Adam if he wants to. Yeah. I mean, personally, I love Adam, but if he wants to hate him, he can hate him. He can do whatever he wants. I'm not gonna tell Johnny what to do because I'm scared of Marissa. So
that's
you're
fair.
not alone. You're not alone.
That's very fair. She is a scary person.
Great in person, but she still scares me a little bit. Like, I know at some point if she wanted to punch me in the face, there's nothing I can do about it, but just accept the Lord. But yeah.
Just hope for the best.
Yeah, hope for the best.
So we were talking a little bit about it before we started the stream, a little bit about the football and how you're an Eagles fan and y'all just shat the bed recently. Sorry, I mean got eliminated recently.
Yeah, eliminated.
There's like 52 teams to pick from.
The Eagles are great. What is there? What?
Where are you getting your math from?
Is there hate I hear?
Yes,
I wouldn't say hate. I don't hate the Eagles.
I do. I've grown up an Eagles hater. I will stand on the Eagles hatred.
God, first he wants to like suplex me. Now he wants to hate my football team.
Right, he's just disrespecting you at every
Crazy
turn right now.
disrespectful. You know, it is what it is. I'll get AJ to take care of you, so I'm not worried about that.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Don't do that.
he will
Please.
step on you. He will step on you
Please don't. I'm 128 pounds. I can't do
like
that.
a cockroach. We'll see.
Not a
I'll make some
cockroach.
phone calls. I'll make some phone calls.
Yeah, I am now staying out of Maryland forever. To my friends and family there, you're out of luck. Sorry.
Nah, he's just gonna come to wherever you
Airplanes.
are.
Airplanes.
Yeah.
Airplanes.
It's over for you, kid.
Yeah.
But speaking of the Eagles, what I know we see the celebrity matchups all the time.
Yep.
What would be your dream Eagles WWE matchups?
Yeah, for sure. So, I mean, one of them doesn't play for Eagles, but I mean, it has to be the Kelsey brothers, obviously. I want them taking on Judgment Day at WrestleMania. Perfect. Perfect. I mean, it has to be like the combination of like Dom and like Damien, because like JD's too little, and then Finn is like Finn Balor, so we're not gonna do that.
Yeah.
To him. So it has to be Kelsey's versus them, or it could be JD and R-Truth, or R-Truth and Damien, some kind of mix of Judgment Day versus Kelsey brothers.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like that one. You'd have Taylor Swift on commentary. It definitely would. Yeah, I feel like that would definitely draw numbers. Yeah.
Honestly, no. Rhea and Taylor Swift. That can be the thing. I can see that.
Don't do that to my soul. Don't do that to my soul.
No,
Rhea versus Taylor Swift.
I will be praying that night.
Somebody needs to make this happen on 2K. I need to see the Kelsey brothers versus Judgment Day and Rhea versus Taylor Swift. I need it.
That'd be great.
If anything, give us Kelsey versus the Pauls.
Oh, that would be interesting, actually. Nah, that sounds cool.
Yeah, just make
I feel like Travis
Jake
Kelsey can hit a mean ass spear. He just looks like he can hit a mean spear.
For sure.
Yeah, show somebody.
All right now. Zay, what about you? What's your dream? I guess since you're a Ravens fan, Ravens WWE matchup.
I wouldn't say it's a match, but let me get Bianca and Lamar Jackson in a 400 dash.
Damn.
Yeah, I can see that. I think Bianca wins though.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think Bianca takes that.
Yeah,
one.
I'm still going with Bianca.
I don't know that's actually I think that's really interesting because Lamar be out there moving, but I ain't never seen nobody get down like Bianca.
It's true.
I'm trying to think of a matchup I would want. I'm gonna have to pull from the past. Give me Andre Johnson versus Grayson Waller. I feel like it would be a really interesting matchup because we saw what Grayson did on the talk show, right? And we remember what Andre Johnson did to old boy from the Titans back in the day. So give me Andre Johnson, Grayson Waller.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
All right, to switch it from the sports side of things, we like to encompass a little bit of everything, including music. So, who are your top 5 artists that you listen to either on the daily or all time?
I'm looking it up right now because I could not guess that correctly. I listen to a lot of Kodak, apparently. Looking at the gym playlist, a lot of Kodak. There's a lot of Lil Baby.
Okay, valid.
Of course. I'm seeing a lot of Taylor Swift. Whole lot of T Swift.
Oh, okay.
It's like, nah, that's a joke. A lot of Drake. I mean, like, you gotta go basic. Drake's the guy. He's a GOAT. Future. How many is that? 4?
4.
21 Savage.
Okay, solid.
Yeah, solid list.
Okay, so
I was about to say Taylor Swift after Lil Baby, craziest combo I ever heard in my life.
that is an insane combo.
Taylor Swift's good cardio music, and then Lil Baby's good like deadlift music. You know
that
exactly. I mean, so you got something you can step to, and then something you can lift to.
All right. So it's the main event of WrestleMania 40.
Yep.
You're on the way to the ring for your big title match. What song is playing you out?
I got this one. Shoot. It's on the DJ Khaled album. It's not, obviously DJ doesn't actually like sing or anything. I think it's Fam Good, We Good. It's Rich. No. Who's on this fucking song? Shoot. I think it's Roddy Rich. And then someone else is on this song that I don't know.
Okay.
Roddy Rich.
Okay. I
Now-
like that.
Same scenario. The song just hit. Who is the manager that's walking out beside you?
No one. I can talk for my own. I don't need a manager.
Oh,
I
okay.
look like an interviewer that can't talk. Like the hell I look like.
Damn.
gotta
Damn.
What?
Hey.
I mean, like if I had to pick a manager, I mean, like he's a wrestler, but he was a manager. I'm picking Leo Rush. That's my boy. But I mean, I think he can do his own thing, and I'm gonna do my own thing because he's already professional, and then I'm just me. I'm great. So yeah.
Okay. So on that same one, right?
Yes, sir.
You're on your way to the ring. You talking your talk on the mic because you don't need nobody to come out there with you.
Yeah.
You get to the ring. Who is standing across from you besides Omos? Because he probably already had his big ass match, retained the world title on a record-setting reign.
True.
So who's
I mean, like,
the other victim that's going to be across the ring from you?
I mean, okay, so I'll have to give myself the night one main event because Omos is a night two main event kind of guy.
Oh, for sure.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I respect, of course. Who be across for me? Man, I'm gonna pick a guy that makes top dollar. I'm gonna go with AJ.
Oh,
AJ.
shit. AJ Francis
I would-
MuscleManMalcolm.
I would beat the hell out of him. I would beat the absolute hell out of him. He's big, he's tall, but like I'm definitely stronger, definitely faster. There's no need to test that, but definitely I could beat him up for sure.
Yeah.
Y'all heard it here
30,
first, folks.
let's kick him in the kneecaps.
Y'all heard it here first.
Unblocked.
Yep.
I'm snitching. Call me Gunner.
Crazy.
Now, I like how you mentioned that, as an interviewer, you got to be able to talk, right? So you wouldn't need a manager for you. So how would you say your promo skill is?
My promo skill. I mean, like I'm not gonna cut a promo if that's what you're asking for. I don't do that for free. But my promo skill's fire. I mean, like I ain't gonna hold you. Like, don't. I got stuff in the works. All I'm saying is I'm fire when I need to be. So
Fair.
I'm good with it. Like I'm wearing the Punk shirt for a reason. You feel? So like
Okay,
Yeah,
talk your
it's just
shit.
a
I see you.
Yes, sir.
That is now two people who have stopped this segment in its tracks. You and
Sorry,
Alex
man.
Kane. As soon as we brought up the idea to Alex Kane, he shut it down. You didn't even let us talk about the idea first.
My man Alex Kane said, "I'm not about to cook y'all on this internet. I'm not about to embarrass y'all." And I respect it.
I mean, he's a world champion, man. You gotta pay him some money if you want him to do that. I'm just saying he's an important dude.
Yeah. We talking about the man who be slapping all these melanin deficient hoes.
Yeah, man. Love Alex. He's a great guy. MLW world champion. I see him wrestle all the time up in Philly. So he's a great dude. Love that guy.
Oh man.
Speaking of Alex Kane, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention you do a great deal of work with MLW.
Yeah.
Would you like to speak on your relationship with them and the other performers?
Yeah, I mean, like same goes for like any other company. MLW is a great place. Luckily, they just run really close to where I live, so I'm always able to go out to the shows. Great relationship with their media team. They always bring out some good talent. I try to make sure I interview as many people as I can. Jacob Fatu is kind of like he's the Roman Reigns of MLW. He's been killing it recently. He recently put out a tweet that said it's a wrap, and that's very interesting to see what might be next for that guy. But as far as everyone else on that roster, Zeta Steele's great. Alex Kane's great. Akira, he's great. Who else is on that roster? There's so many people. I might miss names. I might too many, but yeah, they have a tremendous roster, and I hope that company grows more and more because a lot of people kind of write it off because it's not WWE or AEW or TNA, but they run some solid shows. Like it's definitely worth checking out if you don't watch MLW because they're great, absolutely great.
I like it. I'm glad you said that too, because I think the first I had heard about MLW was I think a year or two ago
Yeah.
when they were promoting one of their shows on Busted Open, and I just happened to be tuned in, and then it put them on the radar for me. So immediately I started seeing the clips and everything. And MLW really is a company that a lot more people should know about because I think they're just as good as an ROH as a TNA. Like they just don't get as much recognition as the others, and I feel like that's definitely going to change in 2024. And I'm glad that that's happening as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of new guys that are coming into the company from what I've heard. They're trying to reload the roster, so hopefully they bring in some great talent. There's so many great people on the independent wrestling scene right now. A lot of great free agents. There's a lot of guys that recently left WWE that aren't signed yet that would fit an MLW great. I mean, like Shelton Benjamin would be crazy.
Oh yeah,
Who else? Emma, she's still a free agent from what I know. Mustafa Ali isn't signed anywhere yet. I mean, that would be crazy as well to see him come in for a few dates. Matt Riddle has showed up in MLW and he did a great match at Jacob 5-2. Yeah, man, there's a lot of just dope talent out there that need, especially guys that haven't like wrestled on a big stage before. There's so many guys that just need the opportunity, need that stage that MLW can't provide. I mean, they're the guys that put on guys like MJF to like the wider wrestling scene because like before that he was doing like CZW, which is great, but a little less seen. So
yeah.
he put up some great talent. So I really wish more people will watch them, and I think they will going forward. And yeah, they is a great incubator for like independent talent moving up to that next level of like a WWE or AEW, etc.
I'd have to agree, and I think it'd be a great time to actually shed some light on some of the independent stars because I do feel, especially in 2024, a lot of these independent wrestlers are becoming more prominent, more well seen, and they're getting their personality out there more than ever. And for me, for example, I love Zeta Steel. Like that's all right there. I love her personality, the energy she gives off. She's an amazing performer. But very few people know about Zeta Steel. I posted I posted something on my Instagram story that she had shared. I think it was either your interview with her or something off her page. I don't know. And I had a bunch of people be like, "Who is that? Who is that?" I mean, for their alternative reasons, but still, very few people knew who she was, and that's kind of odd to me because for the Northern American wrestling scene, at least in the northern states where I am, she's one of the better female talents in my opinion.
I would put her like top 3 like in the country right now because like she's a great promo. I feel like to me, anyone can not anyone, but there's a lot of great wrestlers. There's not as many great superstars, and I feel like she's definitely one of them. How I always describe her is like if you mix Sasha Banks with Sharpay Evans from High School Musical, like it's a great blend of personalities. Like it's perfect. I mean, I really do feel like once she'll do well at MLW, she'll win that featherweight championship for sure. But I can't imagine a world where she's not in the WWE or AEW or TNA or even New Japan, Stardom, etc. At some point in her career, because like she's still very young from what I know. I think early 20s at least. Yeah, the girl's crazy good. So like I hope she gets that recognition she deserves because her, Emily J, Brittany Brooks, these 3 are phenomenal, and they all should be on television. And I think that will happen probably at some point this year, and at least into 2025. They're all very talented.
So, speaking of people you interviewed, I know you said you got some big stuff in the works, but is there somebody you haven't interviewed yet that's like that's the ultimate one for you to get?
Yeah, I mean, like I could just say Omos because the answer usually is Omos, but as far as like people outside of Omos, right now, I actually have a list. I'm gonna talk as I pull it up. I have a list of 100 wrestlers that I'm trying to interview in 2024. So far, I've gotten a few off the list so far. Right now, the first 5 on my list is Omos, Bianca Belair, Solo Sikoa, who I have spoken to previously, but not this version of him in WWE. Bully Ray, Kelly Kelly. I just wrote down really random people at this point. Brett Lauderdale, Ernest Cat Miller, Nick Nemeth. Crap. Oh,
Ooh.
right. There's some crazy names.
I would love to see you interview Nick Nemeth.
Right. I would love it.
Oh my
I met him once
gosh.
at Survivor Series. He did a comedy show. Man, he was just such a cool dude. I know he's kind of hard to talk to nowadays because TNA and New Japan and whatnot. But he's a cool dude. Like I would love to actually just talk with him for like just 15 minutes. I don't need too much of his time, but yeah, man, that's definitely a dream interview currently because he's doing so well in so many things in wrestling, like TNA, New Japan, GCW. Like the dude's killing it. He's definitely proven why he didn't need the WWE. The WWE doesn't necessarily need him, but they definitely need more talent like him.
Right.
Yeah.
So before I ask if there's any advice you have for people, I do have a personal one because I've seen you interview some big name people, some people who I've idolized since I was a kid. How do you deal with nerves? Because I went to a reality wrestling show this past Saturday and Roxanne was there and did a meet and greet afterwards.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, I'm gonna be cool, calm, and collected. I went up there and as soon as she said hey and shook my hand, I froze up, melted, could barely get a sentence out. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, you were the first person I thought of. I was like, Malcolm does this shit on the regular. So how do you deal with nerves, or how does it work?
I think it just comes with repetition over time. I've actually never met Roxanne in person, so she seems like a cool person. But in general, it just takes time. I think once you get in the room with certain wrestlers, that nerves kind of go away, or once you kind of envision yourself enough. I do a lot of envisioning, seeing yourself interview these guys. You kind of have to humanize them before you see them, because if not, you will freak out. It's like, oh my God, my childhood is in front of me. The first time I've experienced extreme nerves for the first time in some years was at what press conference was it? Survivor Series. Triple H walks out. I'm sitting front row. I'm like, oh my God, you're Triple H. You're Triple H, and you're 10 feet away from me. This is insane. I couldn't even get my hand up to ask a question because I'm like, if I put my hand up, I'm shaking. It's Triple H. That's crazy. But over repetition, over time, the more you interact with wrestlers, the more you kind of just realize they're human. The more you hear about their day to day, the more you just gotta humanize people. Sometimes they can be your idol, but in the moment you gotta be like, all right, we both put on socks, so we're cool. That's it.
That definitely is a big issue because I hung out with Suplex at SummerSlam, and
great guy.
The confidence he has, me and my friends jokingly call him, he is a Disney Channel character because he's not real. The way he was able to, because we went to this after party and we were there, he didn't warn us at all that there were going to be an entire room full of wrestlers, right? So we walk in there and immediately nerves are through the roof. I'm sitting 10 feet away from Gunther.
He's a big dude in real life. Big dude. Yeah.
And I remember sitting in the booth and I was just like, I don't know how I expect to interview these wrestlers face to face because I couldn't get myself to talk to any of them.
Yeah.
The most I could do is I shook Drew McIntyre's hand because I got pressure. I couldn't bring myself to do it. So that is a big hurdle content creators need to get over. Of course, you gave advice to that. Any other advice for upcoming content creators?
Yeah, for sure. So especially when you're starting out, interviewing on the independent wrestling scene, I feel like it's stuff that everyone's gonna say, but it's truthful and it really works. Interviewing on the independent wrestling scene and just seeing how these guys interact and just talk as if they're normal people because they are. And then you slowly elevate yourself to interviewing that talent in let's say a TNA and then a New Japan and then bounce around MLW, NWA, and then you get some Ring of Honor guys, some AEW, then some WWE. You realize these guys are just so normal and just things outside of wrestling, just like everyone else, that it just makes you realize this is just a normal life. Something that helped me at one point, my friend's an independent wrestler named Mr. Grimm, super talented dude, one of the best big men in the business. He took me on, we were on a road trip to one of his independent shows. I'm forgetting the name of the company, so I don't want to butcher it. but he wrestled Joey Janela, and it was a crazy match. And I got so nervous. I'm like, yo, Joey Janela's like the only independent wrestler I really be watching like that. I walked up to him trying to shake his hand, and he's like super chill. He's like, hey man, I seen your stuff. Nice to meet you. I was like, oh my god, what? No, don't say that. Yo, this but yeah, like interviewing on that independent scene, just like I take interviews and content creation as if I was like an independent wrestler. So you got to grind your way on the indie scene, then you move up a little bit, then you got your MLW, your NWA vibe, then you move up a little bit, then you got like a New Japan Ring of Honor, then you move up, you got TNA, then you move up, you got AEW, then you move up, you got WWE. So it's like I look at it as the same way that a wrestler sees their wrestling career. Like you got to start off in the minor leagues and build yourself up to big television. So yeah, man, you just gotta think about it like that. That's what works for me at least.
Okay, I like that.
Sure.
So before we get ready to wrap it up, is there any advice you have to the people who are thinking about starting content creation but just don't know how to take that first step?
Yeah, I mean, first step's just do it. I mean, just make it. Regret about it later. But I guess what's like a first real step for me? I like to watch a lot of interviews, not outside of wrestling. So a lot of guys I like to watch. Speedy Mormon, he's on Complex. He interviews a lot of rappers. Scott Evans. Yeah, Scott Evans. He's on E News. Sean Evans, Hot Ones. I watch a lot, and even like the big wrestling creators right now. I mean, Chris Van Vliet, great guy. Ryan Satin, great guy. Sean Rassap, Denise, great people, of course. Watching those guys and Not Sam Wrestling, Peter Rosenberg, et cetera. I can go down the list. Watching all those guys and seeing how they interact and how they create conversations with these athletes makes you realize, like, okay, I know how to talk to a normal human, so I can talk to a professional wrestler because they're just normal people. Also, what you can do, stuff like this. I mean, like I'm nowhere on those people's levels that I just mentioned, but anyone that's just doing something a little bit higher than what you're doing, just ask for advice. Something great that happened to me because I saw him in the room. And I just went up and asked. It was SummerSlam weekend. I saw Ryan Satin at a GCW show or it was New Japan, one or the other. I just walked up and asked him like, hey, what's some stuff I could do? He pulls out his phone, shows me all these templates and all these like work documents and all this kind of stuff. And he was just super helpful and grateful that someone asked him about how they can actually like build themselves up in this platform. So whenever you can run into someone that's doing something just a little bit better than you, just ask questions. And most of the time people are pretty forthcoming information. It's actually really surprising the amount of stuff that Chris Van Vliet tells me because I'm like, he doesn't owe me anything. And he's very forthcoming information. So just ask, just like an interview, just ask people questions. Some people will answer, some people won't. That's life. And the more you ask, the more you know. And yeah, that's what I do at least. And it's starting to work. So that's what I would tell people.
It's really good advice. We've always said a great start for us has always been pick the fucking phone up.
Yeah.
Like you're on it at minimum 10 hours a day. Like it's 2024. We know everyone's on their phones. Just pick it up, turn that camera on, and just shoot an idea.
Exactly.
It doesn't have to be good. It doesn't have to be great. I mean, you should listen to the music I was dropping when I was 16. The idea is that you just have to. That golf was very rude, TJ. That was very rude. Yeah, right. Screw you, TJ.
What? That wasn't even me. That was my dog.
I heard it.
That was this little motherfucker right here. That was Hershey.
Fuck
That was not even me.
Either way.
He did not mean that. He didn't mean that. Hershey versus Scoob Mania weekend. Keep playing.
You forget I got a chihuahua, a little angry mutt. Anyway, I think this is a great place to wrap it up. Not to take up too much of your time. TJ, that's your cue.
Yes. So yes, thank you once again, Malcolm, for joining us. And ladies and gentlemen, if you don't already know where to find them, there's this link tree down there. Go follow Malcolm on all his socials. Check out his interviews. The man is doing big things all year long. It's only up from here. honestly, I expect to hear this man in the media scrum for WrestleMania. So go check him out. Go subscribe. And I must bid you all adieu. Goodbye and good night. Bang!